People saying that they would just like to tell him how thankful they are for what he's brought to this university, not just the Syracuse men's basketball program. We know that he's been at the helm of that for 47 years, but what he's brought to the community. No doubt, and it's not the only interesting component about this game. You have two coaches who know each other pretty well. They were hired by the same athletic director. They were friends before this. They've even mentioned a couple times since we've been down here that they've seen each other on vacations together. So just a lot of unusual and exciting things about this matchup. How about a little shout out to the fans, right? We told you all to pack the dome this week, and you sold it out. First time we've had a sellout crowd since 2019 when the Orange took on #1 ranked Clemson inside the dome. Outside of that, you're looking at limiting turnovers. This is something that both teams have struggled with, but the catamounts, especially in double digits, can't happen again. We talked to Dino in a couple press conferences, and he says that you are going to see a Garrett Schrader that is completely and totally healthy, a Garrett Schrader that has improved his passing game week by week, and a Garrett Schrader that's going to bring his leadership, which they say is his most important quality. You said when I was playing, a lot of the times it was mid-range jumpers. That was my game.
Right.
Now it's all threes and dunks.
Absolutely.
And if that's changed, then you really have to change your defense with it.
I'm with you, Sam.
No doubt. And a couple of these early season games, you have to grab one or two of those. And even if you don't win, it's a learning experience. There are so many new faces. These guys have to be able to communicate effectively with each other if they want to win games.
Is sponsored by Matthews Auto Group.
You always get a special kick on opening day, said the great Joe DiMaggio. You look forward to it like a birthday party when you're a kid, and you think something wonderful is going to happen. Imagine if he could have seen the Yankees today. Welcome into sports, everyone. I'm Samantha Croston. The Giants at Yankee Stadium, and before the game even began, the crowd was roaring during starting lineups for both Aaron Judge, the new captain, and Anthony Volpe, the first rookie to crack the starting lineup since this guy. Bottom of the first, and the American League home run record holder steps up to the plate. It's his first at-bat of the year, and what does he do? In the words of Michael Kay, see ya. Who else? How can you not be romantic about baseball? First time Judge has ever hit a home run on opening day. Yanks take the lead. And meanwhile, on the pitching mound, how about this stud? Yankees ace Garrett Cole throwing absolute heaters. Finishes with 11 strikeouts. It's the most by a Yankees starting pitcher on opening day. Yanks cruise to a 5-0 win over the Giants, and what a way to start.
My last start was able to go out and pitch through that, so I thought kind of got over that hurdle. And then in my bullpen yesterday, just, still felt just a teeny bit of something.
Well, this put a bit of a damper on opening day for the Mets, as just hours before the first pitch, Verlander was placed on the injured list for an injury he says he felt in his last spring training start. The diagnosis, a low-grade shoulder strain. Good news is Verlander will continue to throw and will be evaluated again by doctors next week. So with no Verlander, no Edwin Diaz, and 4 other pitchers lost to March injuries, the Mets were off to a very Mets start to the season. But they trekked on. Mets jump out to a 2-0 lead, and here comes the 1-2 pitch to McNeil. It's a base hit through the infielders, the flying squirrel back in action. Brings in Marte, and the Mets go up 3. Take you to the bottom 6. Garrett Cooper up against the Mets ace. Drives one to deep center field, and you can forget that. Marlins grabbing their first run. We go to the top of the 7th where we're all tied up, and it's Nimmo grabbing the 2-run double. David Robertson would go on to get the save, and Mets hold on to the lead, winning 5-3. The Mets improved to 41-21 all-time on opening day, and that winning percentage on opening day, Matt, best in Major League history. How about that?
Really? Now that's a fact I did not know.
A Syracuse comeback falls short in the Pinstripe Bowl. The Orange losing to Minnesota 28-20 in a game of highs and lows here at Yankee Stadium. I'm Tommy Sladek. This is Samantha Croston. Sam, let's start with a positive, because this place was feeling like a satellite stadium from the 315.
It felt like everything that we know about Orange fans was true in this moment. They know how to travel, they know how to support their teams, and they made that trip to the Bronx really worthwhile. The people here were dancing, singing. It was a party, and overall, a really nice day here. I would say out of the 31,000 fans in attendance, SU fans made up more than 2/3 of the stadium. So the energy stayed even when the Orange went down 14-0. But then this place went nuts when Garrett Schrader hit Damian Alford, who just came up short of the pylon. Next play, it's Schrader on the keeper to make it 14-7 at halftime. And I have to say it was the healthiest SU's QB looked since the 6-0 start to the season.
Yeah, Sam, and the second half had a promising start before a costly Schrader interception. The Golden Gophers ended up returning it for a pick 6. You also had a 90-yard kick return by Minnesota that ended up quickly making it a 28-13 game. Then he had the 4th and 8. Just a few minutes to play. Garrett Schrader would scramble for an eternity. I mean, I could have hopped on the subway to Coney Island and made it back to the Bronx before this man found the end zone.
I honestly couldn't believe it. I had my camera going. I thought the play might be over. I couldn't even find him for a minute. All of a sudden, I see this man jumping into the end zone. So from there, SU goes for the onside kick. That would fail. But they have a chance at the very end to potentially win this game. Get a huge 3rd down stop. But off the screen, you can't see it here, the kiss of death. The yellow flag called on Elijah Clark for unsportsmanlike conduct. And that was that, Tommy.
And Syracuse had been 4-0 in its last 4 bowl games. This marks the first bowl loss for the Orange since 2004 as they finished the season with an overall record of 7-6.
Obviously, we're disappointed in the outcome, but I really believe that the young men did play a very, very hard game. There was fantastic effort out there. I didn't think there was anybody giving up, and we felt like we had a chance to win it all the way down to the end.
Well, now the off-season work begins for these coaches who will be looking to recruit some new talent, but that is another season in the books for the Syracuse football team.
Yeah, that's a wrap for us in the Bronx as well. Samantha Croston, Tommy Sladak. We'll send it back.
Jumps are out, step, squats and lug.
It's not uncommon to see many generations of a family take to the sport of wrestling. Anna Cummings grew up in that tradition with a ringside seat.
I grew up with 4 brothers. They all wrestled. I was dragged all over the place with them.
All those weekends, Cummings watched and waited for her time to come.
I wanted in.
For her time to put a hold on the sport she grew to love.
Anybody need to see it one more time?
It's definitely made me physically and mentally stronger, and I've always had like a great community and people that have built around me and supported me.
She admits it was a difficult environment for some women to wrestle in a predominantly male sport.
Good job. I know that there's been a bunch of girls that have wanted to wrestle, but just finding that courage to step out on the mat is a lot easier when you're wrestling another female opponent versus stepping out against the guys. It's more welcoming.
Fast forward to now.
Keep doing what you're doing. You're working really hard in here. You're taking the girls wrestling to the next level.
Takedowns are still worth 2. But pink, ponytails, and pinwheels are in a lot more wrestling rooms. In Baldwinsville, one youth club is having sessions focused specifically on getting young girls like Kendra McDowell involved in the fun.
I like girls wrestling. I like the flow when you bend your knees and your hands are like that.
And teaching them phrases that inspire a can-do attitude. Kendra's favorite?
The one we say good power.
The sessions are led by Jeremy Callie and Larry Klein, alongside Cummings. All 3 are former wrestlers.
I think sky's the limit. Now that Section 3 has sanctioned this, you're going to see schools and programs popping up. Competition's growing. We're excited to see some girls-only tournaments so they can compete against each other.
It was the great Dan Gable who said, once you've wrestled, everything else in life is easy. For Callie, the sessions are about introducing women to a sport that could change their lives.
Later on in life, you notice wrestlers really pursuing life in a different way because of the lessons they learn on the mat, for sure.
In Syracuse.
1, 2, 3, go power!
I'm Samantha Croston.
Girl power, I love it.
Yeah, sending some strong messages at an early age.
Nice to see those smiles, too. The girls are really having fun.
They're liking it.
The SU women's lacrosse team is 12-0, ranked the #1 team in the country.
Well, that's pretty cool, I think.
They're really good. Honestly, they haven't lost a game, so I really like that.
Elena and Abby were part of the Valley lacrosse team that got the opportunity to scrimmage on the big stage during halftime and watch the main event from the stands.
We're so lucky here that we have this SU program that is so good, and to have it right in your backyard, you can come up here and see it and aspire to it. it's just really a special thing.
If you can see it, you can be it. That's why Coach Orlandella, who leads the JV program at FM, took her girls on the field trip.
I think it's just awesome to see the female role models that they are just on and off the field, and for these girls who are still learning the game and understanding it, for them to be able to come and witness what they could potentially be.
Everything that we're trying to do is what they are doing and they're accomplishing, so it's nice to watch it actually happen.
How do you feel when you watch that?
Oh, I feel kind of like I'm in school learning about new stuff. And, yeah, I just feel like I'm in school learning, but lacrosse school, not like school and math, that crazy stuff.
It's about inspiring the belief that anything is possible, and watching the Syracuse women's lacrosse team proves that anything is possible. In Syracuse,
I got really big dreams. Yes, Bailey, I have huge dreams.
I'm Samantha Croston.